Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Nduta, Head of Product at Mundaly. And my topic for the day, for the IoT Day, is revolutionizing impact assessment in the Global South using AI. What are we going to discuss in this session is how we can transform the way organizations measure, validate, report, and track their impact initiatives, not only in the Global South, but this can be adopted globally everywhere. And in the age of AI, this makes it way easier, very efficient, and quite affordable at the same time. I'm sure most of us are wondering, what is impact and why do we need to revolutionize how it's reported, and why does AI need to be involved? Well, let me bring this to your attention. This is how community impact looks like today. And over the past 2 years of research, we realized that this is a very important sector that feeds on into the machine learning pipeline, especially for large language models being developed down to the grassroots levels to address the current, I'd say, African needs, because that's where we are from and that's where our solution is targeted towards, that in such a way that when communities down in Africa, and let me just say in the Global South, want to get their languages, want to get their needs well adjusted to the training data provided to the LLMs, the community has to be heavily involved. And this is how community impact looks today in terms of when you want to donate your money or donate your resources to do impact in this part of the world. So let's say you want to do health initiative or education initiative for young girls down in a country like Ghana, where we're from. What do you do right now? You just send your money and you're not aware about how is this going on? How are the kids? What's the last mile delivery of the impact that you want delivered? So wherever you're from, you just believe that my money is doing good, but you don't really follow up. And yet there's so many players in that pipeline that you might find possibly or not possibly that impact reaches the people you intended to impact. Now, every year you get to either come down and see, oh, I went there, I was not able to communicate with the communities down there properly, or maybe you find that, oh, there was so much paperwork and I cannot carry all that to where we're from. Oh, it cost me so much money. And wow, how can I benchmark and track whatever we are doing? So this is the mumbo jumbo that we are trying to really streamline with what we do at Mundaly. So we call this the Community Impact Automation Platform. So we take all this and feed it onto our pipeline, such that right from the data collection bit, where we collect data from the communities themselves, all the way to the models that we are training and building to be able to really predict impact, verify impact, and also track impact over years of time. And this can be done and localized to the local content in terms of languages, in terms of written and literature, and other ways that we really found that this is how artificial intelligence can really be used in the African context, or may I say the Global South context. Now, moving ahead, I'm sure this is what I was just explaining on the previous slide, that over $72 trillion is invested in impact initiatives. That's how much companies and individuals spend, where the funders have a hard time to choose the right implementer. Who's going to carry out my impact? Do you want to come from the US? Do you want to come from Dubai just to carry out impact? Yet, some of the implementers are quite slow, and the validation and tracking is not very, very clear. Again, when it comes to reporting, it's very, very expensive currently because, again, we do not have the right resources, or maybe we are not utilizing the right resources that we currently have. Now, how do we claim, or how does Mundaly help streamline this process? And why is it important to discuss this? And how is AI involved? So we really want to appreciate that. Currently, there are people already doing impact reporting, right? you already have the length and big reports that are generated. So what we took to task is using the existing technologies in terms of LLMs, all from OpenAI, from Google. We were able to build our own AI reporting generator that takes in your current bulk PDFs, and we get to retrain our models such that you can easily communicate with your PDFs and you don't have to read through all that data at once. After that, we structure the insights, and these are well showcased onto the dashboard that you have access to as part of being our client. And step 3, every month, the community, one thing we really champion here is that community voices need to be heard. In terms of community voices, we mean that communities have to be involved in terms of verifying whatever impacts companies are doing to the grassroots, because you are impacting me. How comes that I'm not the one reporting what your impact is doing to me? You know, so we want them to be on the forefront, that we're leading to champion community voices. And this has helped grow our data collection databases thousands folds, because we can collect data from different communities, right, from different ethnic communities. Right now, we're only doing Ghana, but hoping to really broaden our scope into other communities, other languages in Africa, and have us all drink from the same cup that English-speaking and Anglophone-speaking countries enjoy in terms of services and just the advantages of AI, because a lot of people, we realize, are not very literate in terms of understanding what exactly are you talking to me about this AI, this, yes, ChatGPT has come in and everything, but we need to break it down. So how are you telling a farmer, how are you telling a cocoa farmer in Ghana that LLMs can be useful to them? You know, it doesn't really tap into then, unless it taps into their need, into their core problem of how does this solve my daily woes as a farmer? How does it enrich in my life? How does it add benefits? Otherwise, it only becomes another myth, another good to know, you know, technology. But that is not the case. We want to make sure that communities are well appreciated. Communities take part in training these LLMs, that there's some form of ownership, that they're dignified to feel that, yes, we were not only used as data collection points, but our voices were we've actually saw fruits of labor, our fruits of labor come into play and make a positive change to the environment that we live in. And then after that, through the tools that we heavily provide in terms of the dashboard, in terms of access metrics, you're able to quickly track your impact initiatives and see what better can we do? Or this community needs more girls educated to save them from early marriage, then you can always channel your resources to this. But unless the communities come up with this, unless the communities are dignified and help to understand why this is important, why this is the need, it still remains a black box that they don't see the need to do. So what we are basically talking about is that we have 3 sides of the coin, where there's the funder, whoever's giving money. There's also the facilitator, the implementer, and then there's the community recipient. This is one of the cases mostly seen down in Africa and in most African countries, because internet connectivity is not so great as apart from the urban areas. So a lot of people migrate from rural to urban areas, and you find that a lot of talent is drained from the rural areas, and at the end of the day, there is no development. But then we sat down and said, okay, using AI, how can we at least map out the needs that exist in these communities and help these communities become a better place instead of talent drain? Now talent needs to go back there and establish successful businesses, and at the end of the day, uplift the lives of the people living back in the communities. So one other thing that we hope to do is address all the levels, because there's level 1 where internet is not available and they also don't have digital phones. There's the level 2 where internet is not available, but at least they have phones. Yes, they might not be they have Jamthe, we call them, there's a word for it, the phones that can only work with IVR or USSD for calls and for mobile money transfer, because that's a very huge issue down here. And also we have the level 3 that mostly live in the urban areas where we have the internet, and then they also have digital mobile phones with internet access. So for them, how we reach out to each of these communities is different. So some of them, we have to take our digital tools there and encourage the community to always visit these places and interact with our tools, help us collect data that makes life better in terms of agriculture, in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of financial inclusion. So everything that we are really championing for at Mundaly is inclusion and equity, because we want to see at least work towards fair distribution of resources, work towards helping to achieve the SDGs by at least 2030, see a lot of gender disparities cases sorted out, and a lot of uplifting in terms of economies down in the rural areas. So we devised ways to have last mile reach for these different communities, depending on whether you're in level 1, whether you're in level 2, or whether you're in level 3. And through this, we're able to do data collection, provide employment opportunities, and at the same time, we leverage partnerships with a lot of local nonprofits and also international organizations. So this has helped build the ML pipeline richly, because right from data collection, we have partners who are able to help us process and pre-process this big data collected from these channels. And at the end of the day, work towards the reporting, the tracking, and also building our own language model that can be used by the communities that we are targeting to. I think that's the end of my presentation in terms of Mundaly. But in terms of what we do to also help the chaos and also contribute to the vision of responsible AI, we are working tirelessly to ensure that the data collected from our community members is well labeled, well annotated, and that it can be used with their sole, what can I say? Their sole, when they give an okay, that yes, this is how your data is being used, and this is what it translates to in terms of value. So we help really educate communities matters of data dignity, data privacy, and data responsibility, because without that, it means that whatever we are going to use this data, we don't want it to be discredited. We don't want it to be in such a way that, oh, the communities felt used, the community did not gain anything from their time, from their efforts to answer our surveys, to also participate in the conversation. So one way or another, we hope to change lives. We hope to make living in the global south a bit better. We hope to make service delivery a bit better in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of finances, in terms of agriculture. We hope to utilize AI and data collection to help build models that can actually save lives, change lives at the same time, and above all, add value. Thank you so much for listening to me. Again, my name is Ruth. I'm the head of product at Mundaly. And in case you're interested, feel free to connect with me over on LinkedIn, and we're going to discuss further in terms of partnerships and how we can both add value to our networks. Thank you very much.